everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Fat Loss Basics. Happy almost May, you guys. It's almost to the point where everybody's going to see that meme with Justin Timberlake. It's going to be May. It's going to be great. So, great weekend for us. We had it was a very busy weekend. Went to a piano bar Friday night with friends. Saturday we did, my son started lacrosse, new sport. I have no idea anything about it. I don't understand the rules. I don't understand the terminology. I don't understand anything. So learning curve for me, but he really enjoyed it. It's just a little bit of an instructional league for him, and so it's kind of fun. And then what else did we do? And then we played euchre. For those that don't know what that is, it's like a card game. you team up with somebody and whatnot, and then played that with my mom and dad euchre group. And Sunday we just did family dinner. Worked out, went to family dinner. It was great. So, hope everybody else had a great weekend. Hope everybody got outside, got some movement in, got some sunshine in, maybe on their face, or went on a walk, drank some water, did some great stuff. So, this last week was kind of interesting. And a lot of my stories, you guys, it's either coming from my own personal experience because it's something that has happened to me, or it's coming from a client, which the majority of you who are listening to this podcast, if you're listening, and you are, especially those of you that are an active listener that listen every week or tune into every episode, you are probably an ideal client, meaning what I'm saying is resonating with you, which is why you continue to listen, which I greatly appreciate. It means a lot to me. And I'm happy that you're here learning and listening. But when I talk about specific things, it's not because they're random. They're not random things. And I have a client of mine. We did a check-in this last week, and it was a great check-in. And I say that all the time, but like my clients typically have so many like aha moments on these check-ins, or just, when they're just able to kind of verbally say what they need to, and I don't want to call it like vomit of the mouth, but like kind of like that, where they're just able to just like talk. They're just talking. And then all of a sudden these things start coming out, or things start surfacing. It's like, oh, I think this is a great week. And then by the time we're done with the check-in, it was like, oh, damn, I really thought about some things as I was talking that I was like, oh, I didn't realize this was a quote unquote, like, hiccup or a potential like, oh, moment for me. And maybe things aren't not that things aren't good, but like, because obviously when we're discovering things and we're talking about things and we're learning things about ourselves, that is good. That is forward motion on our journey. And everybody's like, the scale, oh, the scale and inches and pictures and losing weight and all of these things. And like, sometimes this aha moment is far more important, because it'll eventually help us get to those things that we think are the progress or the outcome that we're looking for, when really we're just working through shit. But she said something this in the middle of a very long message to me, and it really stuck out to me. And I wrote it down. I take notes and stuff when my clients are doing their check-ins. And so I wrote it down, and I kind of like highlighted it, because I was like, ooh, this is huge. This is a big piece. And the fact that she was, again, it was just kind of like something that she just like casually said, but means a huge amount in this process. And what she said was, I am doing this very serious thing and not being very serious about it. Okay? I'm going to repeat it again. I am doing this very serious thing, and I'm not being very serious about it. And I think this is a lot of disconnect that women have, where we think we're doing the things. I've done all the things. I'm doing all of the things. I've done all the things. I've tried everything, and nothing works, right? And it's not even the intent behind of not being serious about it. It's not that my client's like, well, I know this is very serious, but I'm going to intentionally not care, or not do the things, or not show up today, or not give my effort, or all these things. That's not an intentional element. It's just like our subconscious and our default mode is so ingrained and embedded in who we are and what we do. It is so hard to pull ourselves out of it. And unless it is a conscious, highly aware decision, it makes it very difficult to do. So when she said this, I was like, well, that's a really interesting thing to say. And as she continued to go on about why she felt this way, I was like, oh, this makes a lot of sense, right? So we have this goal or this thing that we want to achieve, i.e., lose weight, get healthy, be more confident, et cetera, et cetera. But we don't show up in the way that we want to get healthy and lose weight and be more confident, right? And it's not that we unpurposefully do this. It's not that we unpurposefully are like, well, I need to go to the gym, but I just intentionally am going to make a choice like, fuck that. It's like, no, it's like I had this thing, or we figure out a way to justify not doing the thing that we know that we're supposed to be doing. And not because we're bad or we need more willpower or need to be more disciplined. It's because it's literally our brain going, you don't need to do that actually, because that's going to be really uncomfortable and I'm going to have to work and I might sweat and I might have to take a shower after and it's going to be, no. So we're just going to figure out, how do I not do that thing? How do I get out of doing that thing? And our brain doesn't care what your intention is, doesn't care how serious you are. It doesn't care about those things. It doesn't care that you want to get healthy. It doesn't care that you want to lose weight. It doesn't care that you want to feel confident. What it cares about is the fact that that's uncomfortable. That's uncomfortable. And I don't want to do that. And you can't make me do that, actually. So we're going to do it, right? And so now that we realize, it's like, oh, I'm doing these things that actually don't align, right? The one thing that she had constantly had brought up during this particular check-in was that when she goes out and does her job, she runs her own business, she realized she's just stopping and getting food all the time instead of planning and preparing those things at home, right? So it was like, oh, okay. And what we kind of found out from that piece was that's driving another thing. That's actually leading another thing. And I think that a lot of us don't realize until we start working on ourselves how many things happened when we were kids and where we didn't even realize that we were being conditioned in certain ways or whatnot, but we were, or where we were getting our habits and behaviors from, but we did. And so it's not until we start working on these things that are like, wow, now I realize why I am the way I am, because I can see this a little bit more objectively or logically versus being so close to the situation. Like I said, I always had a mentor that always said, it's hard to see when you're inside the bottle. It's hard to see the label when you're inside the bottle, right? Because you're so close to it. Once you start removing yourself from it, it's like, oh, I can clearly see now that label. Like, this makes a lot more sense, okay? And so we didn't only just create or discover, if you will, what pattern she was falling into, but we were also able to see a pattern that she was creating for her own kids, which is huge, because the one thing that I know that, and I'm speaking for myself, not for my client, is that when I started changing my life, I really truly did want to change for my children. And this is also something that we did talk about in the check-in, is I was like adamant about, like, I don't want my kids to feel this way. I don't want my kids to have to go through this. I don't want my kids to be constantly using food to cope with all this stuff, right? Like, they were a huge driving factor. But at the end of the day, at almost when I started at 32 years old, I deserve that. I deserve to feel confident. I deserve to be healthy. I deserve to feel good in my skin. I deserve to lose weight and to be a healthy version of myself. I deserve those things. My kids also deserved that of me, but I deserved it myself, right? And so when we start working on ourselves and we're realizing, like, oh, I don't want to pass down all these patterns and habits that I learned, but now I'm passing down other patterns and habits that I'm not aware of. And once we start becoming aware of these patterns and habits, well, it's hard to, as they say, once you shine the light, it's kind of hard to put it back in the dark, right? Like, once you see it, you really can't unsee it. And then it becomes your responsibility to figure out and change if that's something that you think is important, right? And so we realized a couple of different things. So the very first thing is, like, we're eating out. We're constantly going to fast food. Everybody's going to get packed up in the car. And then all of a sudden it's like, the kids are hungry and now I need to feed the kids, and I didn't plan, I didn't prepare. And the next thing I know, I've dropped X amount of dollars this month on fast food when I really have food in my house. I don't need to be doing that, right? And one thing that we talked about was how it's kind of conditioning her kids that every time they get in the car and they go with mom to work, that they now want fast food, even if they're not hungry. And that's what kind of came out of it. It became more of a condition pattern versus I actually need food. Like they weren't necessarily needing food. So then we started to kind of brainstorm well, what does that mean? If you've ever heard of Pavlov's law or whatever, this is I learned this in my educational psychology class my sophomore year of college, where it's you ring the bell and the dog eats, same kind of concept, right? So she gets in the car, they're going to work, and the kids go, we get fast food. It's like our treat. It's like our thing that we get to do. And so now it's not just a matter of your habits, right? Now your habits are starting to affect their habits and patterns and behaviors because now they think that they should just have these things because we're in the car with mom. And that's what we're doing. And now we're driving all over the place and now we're hungry. Even if we're not hungry, we're supposed to be hungry because we're getting fast food and we want fast food. So this is where things become really, really sticky. And this is where things become really, really hard. And this is where things become that hard conversation where it's this fine line of riding, doing what you want, saying what you want, and following through, right? Having your actions be in alignment with your desires, with your goals, with your standards, with all of those things. And that's hard because it's oh God, I really want this thing, but also I don't want to do that work sometimes. It's hard. It's frustrating. It's, and all those things are valid, right? If anybody's saying this is simple, it's not simple. It's easy because when you break it down and you emotionally remove all of that bullshit from it, it's actually a very easy process. It's not simple though. This is not simple. This is not just you wake up one day and then it's butterflies, sunshines, and rainbows. This is not how this works. So 2 key things that I often talk a lot about in my coaching, right, is number 1, I always say stop talking about it and be about it. Stop talking about it and be about it. What does that mean? It means if you want the thing that you say you want, you have to start acting in a way that gets you the thing that you want. You have to start acting in a way that drives you there. And again, some people might think and go, well, your conversation doesn't actually help her get there. It actually does. Her being able to say, I'm doing this very serious thing, and I'm not taking it very serious. I'm not being very serious about it. And there were some other places in life, specifically, that we found that to be true for her. It wasn't just her health. Right? It wasn't just her health. There were some other areas where it's a serious thing and she's not serious about it. And then over here, there's a serious thing and she's just not serious about it. And so that can be a really overwhelming feeling. Now I'm thinking, I'm broken. What's wrong with me? Why can't I take anything fucking serious? Why can't I fucking follow through? Why can't I just show up? Why is this so hard for me? And again, always back to the patterns and habits and the subconscious and the default. That is where we live. So while, yeah, it's not as simple as just saying, well, just show up, just do it. We'll just try harder, diet harder, work out harder. Well, that's not how this works. It's just not how it works, right? So I always say, stop talking about it, be about it. The other thing I always say is it stops being something that you do and it just becomes a piece of who you are. It's how do you do that? I don't know. It's just who I am. How do you work out all the time like you do? How are you so consistent? I just am. Because it stopped being something I do and it started being something I am. I just am the person that works out. I am the person that goes on walks. I am the person that tracks my food. I am the person that is consistent in their workouts. I am that person. One day, it just stopped being something I did and is just something that I am. 2 very different things. That's the identity shift that we do in coaching. That is why identity is at the center of every single thing that we do. Her identity right now is eating out a lot on fast food. And when she's working, it's sometimes a reward thing. Oh, I deserve this. I'm working hard for it. I'm making my own money. I can do what I want with it. And then one day turns into 2, 3, 4, 5, and then every day that we're out and about and working, that's what we do. And this is not just her. She's just an example. This is everybody that I work with going through this. And you might hear yourself in that too. Like, yeah, I said I was going to start again today. Here it is Monday, and yeah, I'm not doing it. We're not very different. And that's why I said when I talk about things, it's not because they're random. It's because I know that other people are struggling with the same thing I am still struggling with. I'd be a liar if I said I wasn't struggling with it either. Like there's certain elements that I still am struggling with. That's the reality of it. That's how this process is and nothing is ever just going to be so fucking easy. Simple. Oh, I think I got that backwards 5 seconds ago. I think I kept saying things were easy. No, things are not easy. They're simple. When you break it down. It's not because it's easy. So this is where we also get that kind of like where it stops being something you do and it becomes who you are. It's like, well, I'm trying. I feel like I'm doing something. I'm sort of doing it. I want to be doing it. Right? That is a difference. That's something that you're doing. We don't need to start doing. We just need to start becoming. We need to start acting as all the time. Right? And this kind of came up even today. I had a client, send a message that she's been another one really been doing really great with not eating fast food and eating more at home. And as you can tell, you guys, this is a normal problem with a lot of people. They are not the only people. They are not the only people. And, I wanted her to get into the nitty gritty of like why she feels like she needs to go eat out. She's like, I just been wanting to order out because I just haven't done it. Okay, well, why? Why do you feel like you need to go do it? Well, I'm just really craving X, Y, Z. Well, that's part of the journey. It's not that we can't have the things that we crave, but somebody that's prioritizing their health doesn't do that. Not because they're not allowed or because they can't, but because that's not what somebody who's trying to be healthy does. And it's not about like, have I ever eaten fast food? Yeah, I ate fast food Saturday morning. I literally went with somebody. I was helping actually an in-person client that I train. I was helping her mother-in-law move. She needed help with the truck, and we have a truck. I said, sure, I can help you. So me and my husband went and helped. I went to Taco Bell for breakfast. Okay. Now, I went on their little menu thing, and I was looking up, and I was like, And what I thought was only 500 calories actually ended up being 700 calories. So I was like, fuck, not what I thought. And yeah, so it wasn't a great day for me, calorically. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't a great day. Does that mean I'm a bad person? No. Do I eat fast food every day, every Saturday morning? No. I don't do those things because that's not really who I am. Now, when I need to shift and adjust and make something work, I can do it. I can figure it out. But that has to be actually more thought behind it. Doing something like that takes more effort for me now because I'm not accustomed to that. That's not my default anymore. Fast food is just not my thing. So it takes more effort for me to actually figure that piece out. For a lot of my clients, the fast food element is the default still. And that's okay. It's going to ebb and flow. For a long time, we called it fast food row, literally where we used to live. Because it was every fast food you could possibly imagine. Taco Bell, KFC, McDonald's, Tim Hortons, Wendy's, Dairy Queen, Tubby's, Burger King, Arby's. It was all within like this little just corner of where we lived. It was all right there. So we called it fast food row. We wanted to go fast food row. Bad. It was awful. It was like, but that was my default. That's what we did. We survived on it. We lived on it. It was easy. It was quick. It was simple. I didn't have to think about it. Now it's the opposite, right? And so when I was even coaching this other client who had come in and said what they need to say, I'm like, this is just part of the process. Just because we want the thing doesn't mean we need to have the thing. Just because we want the thing also doesn't mean we don't have to have the thing. But the reality is that a part of this process is sacrificing. It is saying no to things, not because we aren't allowed, but because they actually don't move us forward. And just because they quote unquote fit in our macros actually doesn't make them healthy for us. That's the reality of it. I started this process 10 years ago when if it fits in your macros, IIFYM that's what macros were. IIFYM. If it fits in your macros, it doesn't matter if there's fiber, vegetables, fruit, doesn't matter. You can eat whatever the fuck you want if it fits in your macros. Very similarly to Weight Watcher points. That mentality is very similar. So I had to shift that. I had to relearn all of that. So even though I was starting to learn macros and understanding a little bit better how to be in a calorie deficit doesn't mean it's a healthy calorie deficit. It doesn't mean it's a nutritionally dense calorie deficit. And those are the things that we still have to be paying attention to if we want success on this journey, if we want to actually be healthy. Just because we can't eat it doesn't mean we get to eat it or should eat it. And so what I really enjoyed about this first client that I was talking about is and how I see like this is still forward progress on this journey, because just being honest about it's like, yeah, I'm doing this really serious thing and I'm not being very serious about it. How many women are that way? I want this thing, I need this thing, but I'm not doing the things that I actually need to get there. That's why when a lot of people come to me and they're like, I've done everything. Oh, tell me all about it. I'd love to hear it. And when it gets down to the nitty gritty, a lot of those clients haven't actually done all the things consistently. Maybe they tried it for a week, got frustrated, pissed off, mad, and angry, and quit. That's the story. So then it becomes about how consistent have you been, right? I always one of my very first episodes was wanting level 10 results with level 2 effort. That's the reality of this. So the question at the end of the day then becomes, what are you actually doing consistently? Oh, I'm trying really hard. I need to get healthy. I need to lose weight. I'm so frustrated with myself. I'm so frustrated with my body. My body's working against me. It's not. Are you doing the things to support your body? Are you managing your stress? Are you sleeping? Are you moving? Are you drinking water? What are you doing to support those things that you desire, that you want? Right? Being serious about what you're doing isn't being perfect. It's not checking off every single box every single fucking day. Being serious just says I'm doing things daily that move me in that direction. Every day I'm choosing to move a little bit further towards that version of myself that I want, that I desire, that I know that I can be, and go from there. So if it's important to you, you need to act in a way that it's important. If it's important to you, you need to treat it like it's important. If you're going to do a serious thing, you need to be serious about it. So I am 27 days in. 27 days in. I'm excited to see what my percentages look like of my April accountability. I'm curious. I haven't done a lot of the math or anything like that. I kind of want to, but I don't want to because I just want to let it be. And I can't go back and change anything. But again, I'm doing it again in May. And then the goal in May is to do better, is to figure out, can I get 1% better in every single category? If I can get 1% better this month, coming up in May, and then 1% better in June, and 1% better in July, I'm already, 4 or 5% better than what I've been. And I can already tell you that right now I'm probably about 40% better than what I was. So for me, it's a huge thing. It's important to me. I need to treat it like it's important. It's serious. I need to treat it like it's serious. Otherwise, what the fuck am I doing anyway? Just wasting my time, energy, my effort. There's no point. I don't want to just try. I don't want to talk about it. I want to be about it. Right? That is literally the whole thing. I want this to always be something, not just that I do, but a piece of who I am. So I hope you guys have a great Tuesday. I hope you guys, again, are seriously considering. We actually have a masterclass tonight in the Diet Dropout Club. If you're interested in that, please let me know. You do have to be in the club to get in the masterclass, okay? So I hope you guys, it is macros based. So we are all talking macros everything. tomorrow night, 6:15 p.m. Link is in the show notes. All you have to do is click the show notes and you can get in. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will catch you on the next episode.